the GBC Director General, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, was on GBC's platform, Morning News, where he stated that GBC had only received 105.
They benefit.
They had benefited. They had only benefited 100. That's the correct word he used. Benefited $105,000 US, and that it came as a surprise to him. In fact, if I read his letter,
yes,
because he wrote a letter to Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee. He copied me in that letter.
Okay.
Even though I haven't seen my physical copy yet, I'm sure it may have been delivered somewhere in Parliament. But at least I have the benefit of seeing what has been put out.
Yes.
In fact, he says that of the total payments made for the games, GBC was only entitled to $105,000 US. In the tape where he spoke, he said benefited.
Yes.
But in the letter, he said was only entitled to $105,000 US. Then he continues. Therefore, the statement that GBC was paid, and then in quotes, in excess of $3 million US, end of quotes, comes as a surprise. Now, I didn't make that statement. The Minister for Youth and Sports made that statement. Now, this is diplomatic language for saying that the minister lied. I mean, when you say that what a minister said on national TV comes to you, who he says were the beneficiary, as a surprise, it means that what he's saying, you are not aware, it doesn't exist. Now, it has come, in fact, that immediately muddied the waters, and that became the news, because the question is, if the GBC Director General is saying that only 105,000 came, then the GBC Director in his statement says that they used third parties. Again, to be fair to him, he says 3 organizations were used for technical production. The following organizations were responsible for the technical production: 1, PGS; 2, Quality Media Production SL; and 3, the production room. Now, Randy, subsequent to this statement and this letter and then the statement by the GBC Director General, we've gotten a copy of the contract that was signed by the minister and the GBC Director General. Now, that agreement is between the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Now, it's dated the 1st of February 2024. I want to go into the scope.
Yes.
GBC shall provide all services, personnel, and equipment needed for the below: 1, broadcast management, that's live recording and broadcast of the event; 2, an international broadcast center; 3, production of games from all venues, as in the attached Appendix A; 4, montages, bumpers, video promos, and all relevant creatives for the event; and 5, signal distribution. The following services and technical features are also included: the live recording and broadcast of the opening and closing ceremonies, a 7 to 10 hours of a daily super feed for live broadcast and playback, satellite space segment and turnaround, editorial management crew, a 1-hour daily African Games Roundup program, and then provide and manage the team of commentators for the live broadcast. Now, that's the scope. The term is that the agreement shall be for the period of the African Games from the 3rd of March to 28th March 2024. Now, obligations, fees. It is agreed that GBC will provide services in the amount of $3.6 million US. Now, 1, that the Ministry of Youth and Sports is solely responsible for the payment of the services provided, that the Ministry of Youth and Sports will transfer the cedi equivalent of the cash component to the GBC for payment, to the GBC. 3, that where there arise any difference as a result of foreign exchange conversion in the transfer of the funds from Ministry of Youth and Sports to GBC, Ministry of Youth and Sports will be notified to make up the difference. And then 4, that the Ministry of Youth and Sports will provide funding for any incidental costs incurred in the course of the broadcast of the games. Then, but this is the obligation. Randy, this is the contract.
Can you finish with the assignment?
Assignments?
Yes.
Okay. Assignment.
3.
3. The Ministry of Youth and Sports shall not assign any benefit or interest hereunder to a third party without the written consent of GBC. And such consent, if given, shall not relieve the Ministry of Youth and Sports from any obligation under this agreement.
Okay.
And thank you for doing that. I mean, we'll come to that in the course of our conversation. It then means that this is what you will call in contract law the master agreement.
Yes.
Now, the GBC Director General suggests to us that GBC does not have the capacity to run the production and to outsource the technical production. Before I proceed, Randy, two things come up. And one of the things is actually stated in the minister's letter, the clarification letter from the ministry. If you read that letter, it says, we wish to make the following statements to clarify the issues. This is paragraph 4. And if I want to read C. Also, the ministry in its quest to build local capacity and leave a legacy after the 13th African Games, engaged the GBC to become the official broadcaster of the Games. And I would end here for now. Randy, such events are used to build legacy and capacity. CAN 2008, and I know you played a big role in the organization LOC of CAN 2008. We used CAN 2008 to build stadia, to refurbish Accra Sports Stadium, Kumasi Sports Stadium. We used the hosting of CAN, the other one under Professor Mills, to build Esipong and a few others. So you use these tournaments to build local infrastructure and capacity.
Yeah, Esipong was part of CAN 2008.
Was part of CAN 2008. Thanks for correction.
Esipong, Aliu Mahama,
Tamale Coast, and then Takrady. No, Esipong. Sorry, the Cape Coast is
the Cape Coast that's part of Professor Mills.
Yes, fantastic. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is GBC is struggling with equipment and resources. Now, under normal circumstances, the GBC, and we do the budgets for GBC every year, they don't get 3.6 million for anything, US dollars. So if, because of the All Africa Games, we're getting 3.6 million, and GBC lacks equipment, GBC does not lack technical expertise. They lack equipment. Randy, I would have thought that a prudent use of the 3.6 million would be to acquire equipment for GBC to run the event, so that GBC, after the All Africa Games, today will have equipment sitting there, that if we need to run any other national event, GBC has its own equipment pool. However, from the allusions of the Director General, GBC chose to use 97% of the money that was allocated to it to give to a third part, to give to 3 third parties. They finished the event in 4 weeks. That money has gone with them. There is no legacy built. And that's why I read the C in the minister's statement about building legacy. Randy, I stand to be corrected, but the minister and the Director General cannot all be telling the truth. One person is lying. The minister spoke to us under oath, and if he's the one lying, he's liable for perjury, because the Public Accounts Committee has the powers of a high court. The Director General has also given his rendition. Randy, the question I want to ask, I spoke about the master agreement. Has GBC any service level agreements, SLAs, with the third parties? We need to see them. We need to know the processes by which GBC secured the services of those third parties, because the minister tells us that they did a request for proposals from various stakeholders and GBC was the cheapest. So they said they had a tender of some sort and they picked GBC. How did GBC select its third parties? Who are those third parties? What due diligence was that? Was it sole sourcing to handpick those 3? Was there a bid process for other valuations for us to know what was best value for GBC, even if GBC had decided they won't use that money to build their own institutional capacity? We need to see those agreements. The agreement to specify what each of the 3 subcontractors was supposed to do and for how much. Then we can subject that to a proper assessment.
Sam, help me with something. Please go back to the contract.
The contract
between the ministry and GBC.
Sure.
And to the obligations of GBC.
Yes. Yes. The obligations of GBC, first and foremost, they shall provide all services, personnel and equipment needed for the below. Broadcast management.
Okay.
Which includes live recording and broadcast of the event. They shall provide an international broadcast center.
That's the scope.
That's the scope. Yeah, but the scope is their obligations. That's the obligations of GBC. Then they will do the production of games from all venues, as in the attached Appendix A. And Appendix A is the list of all the venues for the games. Then they will provide the montages, bumpers, video promos, and all relevant creatives for the event. And most importantly, they will do the signal distribution. Then apart from that, they now specify what are the technical features that are included in the delivery of this service. The technical features include the live recording and broadcast of opening and closing ceremony. Then a daily super feed for live broadcast of 7 to 10 hours. Then a satellite space segment and turnaround. Basically, this is satellite bandwidth for transmission. Even that one, there's an issue. They owe the company that offered them that. The company has reached out to me saying that GBC owes them for it.
We'll deal with that.
Yes. Editorial management crew. Then a 1-hour daily African Games roundup of the roundup program. And then GBC is supposed to provide and manage a team of commentators for the live broadcast. Again, I'll come to this part of the commentators as before I wrap up. So this is what GBC was supposed to do.
So broadcast management.
Yes.
The International Broadcast Center.
Yes.
The production of the games.
Yes.
The montages.
Yes.
The bumpers and the creatives.
Creatives, yes.
Then you have the signal distribution.
Yes.
Then the technical features, which specifically deals with also the opening and closing ceremonies live.
Yes.
Okay. Then a live feed.
Yes.
So for the TV stations that want to broadcast,
they can pick the feed.
So between 7 and 10 hours a day.
Daily.
And then the satellite space.
Yes, please.
Okay. Then editorial management crew.
Yes, please.
Africa Games roundup, which is what we watched.
We watched, yeah.
Then managing a team of commentators.
Yes, please.
Okay. So for all of this, $3.6 million was paid.
Yes, please.
Okay. And the Director General has informed us that what came to GBC, which means that the role that GBC itself played, gave GBC $105,000.
US dollars, yes.
So GBC put in a bid for broadcast rights.
Yes.
They put in a bid.
Yes.
And in putting in the bid, they knew they didn't have the capacity. And they believed that if they won, they were going to bring in third parties to do the jobs.
Yes.
Okay. But the third parties were going to benefit about 97% of the contract sum.
That's what it appears to be.
And that GBC would only benefit about 3% of the contract sum.
Yes.
And that is the reason why GBC put in the bid.
Well, that's what the Director General of GBC is telling Ghanaians.
That's brilliant.
Now, Randy, the GBC Director General says that they had benefit of, or were entitled to 105,000.
So that's what they benefited.
That's what they benefited. The benefit that came to them. Now, the ministry statement has put out that the statement the ministry has put out says that they made 2 direct payments to GBC.
Totaling 2.5
million. The first one was 1 million. The second one was 1.5 million. Now, the ministry in itself says that they did a second direct payment on the instructions of GBC of 1 million to a third party. Even when you add those up, that comes to 3.5 million. There's some 100,000 missing. The ministry has to answer for that. But if 2.5 million was paid in 2 tranches to GBC, why is it that the Director General in his letter to public accounts copied to me is saying that the minister's assertion that in excess of 3 million was paid to GBC comes as a surprise to him.
Because they were not paid in excess of $3 million.
They were paid.
They did not receive in excess of $3 million.
So they received 2.5 million.
Maybe.
No, but the minister's statement says that the other 1 million was done on the instructions.
You see,
of
the
GBC.
truth of the matter is that, look,
Yes.
this is Parliament.
Yes,
This is the Parliament of the Republic
absolutely.
of Ghana. If the minister has, because first of all, from your narration, Parliament never solicited a response from the Director General of GBC.
No.
But the Director General of GBC, being a responsible Director General and being aware of the controversy in the public domain, decided that for the reputation of his organization and everything, and we all know GBC,
Yeah.
even what that statement can do in terms of industrial disarmament,
Disarmament, yes.
He decided to be proactive and respond to Parliament also. But in responding to Parliament, the Director General should have stated all the facts.
Exactly.
We signed a contract with Ministry of Youth and Sports. It was for 3.6 million. Yes, we outsourced this and that to these particular companies. These amounts were paid into our accounts. We made XYZ payments to these particular companies.
Yes.
We, on this date, wrote this letter or letters to the ministry,
Yes.
directing them to make XYZ payments to these other companies who were outsourced this and that to. So, what actually came to GBC for our role in doing ABCD was 105,000. Then that puts the matter to rest.
Yes. But what he has effectively done is to say that the minister's comments are strange to him.
Yes.
Now,
I mean, indirectly say it means that the minister lied.
the minister lied. I mean, that's what I said.